Yeah, maybe just the opening question will just be, your thoughts. Obviously, still early in the week, but it's a big match come Saturday. Big match because it's a cup final, a chance to win a trophy, but also a big match if you also look at the opposition, Mamelodi Sundowns. We've always seen um, top matches whenever Cape Town City comes up against Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, I think, beginning of the week, positive result over the weekend, obviously in the league was very, very important. So today, this morning at training, the mood was very, very good. And you can see already, how the players are responding in a positive mindset, leading up obviously to the game on the weekend. I think it's a week to savor. I think that's important for the teams to enjoy the moment. You've managed to get yourself to a final, and you're playing, like you mentioned earlier, a very, very good team in Mamelodi Sundowns, who are definite favorites, and then we go in as the underdogs, and that's a good position to be in my opinion, to be the underdog. So we will work extremely hard during the week in terms of our preparation and our planning, and I'm pretty confident that the boys will want to go out there and put on a good performance come Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. I will now take questions from the floor. Members of the media, if you can just raise your hands, just use the raise hand icon, and I'll be able to take the first question. There are any takers? All right, Themba Shabalala.
Thank you, Fatu. Coach, Themba Shabalala here from Josie FM. I just need to find out one thing, Coach. Yesterday, we saw that you got a good win, but a high-scoring win, which is what the final needs. Looking at you on a normal PSL day, that would be, a bit of an upsetting thing that you consider 3 goals in the second half. But in the final, it could be a plus for those that are less fortunate in terms of the goals for charity. What difference do you want to instill into your players, Coach, when you're looking at the final that is coming and the scoring rates that you guys have, and them playing on the PSL and the DStv Premiership and not actually scoring as many goals as well? The conversion rate, take us through that, Coach. Is it something that you limit for the final, or you say to them, let's just have a freeway of goals and score as many as possible, or you just say, let's play the final cautiously? Where's your mind space on that?
You only get one chance in the cup final, so I think, if we can go with the same mindset that we had against Golden Arrows, looking to score, looking to be positive, that is precisely what we need to do. I think the league is a long league. It's about 3 points, and 3 points are extremely valuable every week. So, heart attack time, literally, winning the game 4-3, but it's great for the spectators, but not great for me as the coach, because you're sitting there and you're potentially watching 3 points disappear when you allow the teams to come back into the game the way we did. So it's about controlling the match. But I think ultimately, like I said before, it's a cup game. You only get one chance at this, and we need to be brave. You've got to be brave when you play in the cup. You can't go there looking to try and defend, keep it 0-0, and possibly try and take it through to penalties. So that's not the way we will plan things. That's not the way we will look to apply ourselves in the game against the Sundowns, because Sundowns, with the quality that they have, if you're going to sit back and wait, you'll get punished because of the quality that they have. So we've got to be brave. We'll go out and play offensive attacking football, because that's what we're good at. And if we have to win it 4-3, like we won the game against Arrows, then then so be it. Fantastic. We want to go score goals, and it's going to be good, obviously, for the fans if you do see a final with a lot of goals.
Thank you, Coach. Let's move on to Karabo.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fatu. Good day, Coach, and good day to all my colleagues as well. Coach, I think you've just briefly touched on it, but maybe more of an extension to it. You've conceded 5 goals in the last 3 games, which averages more or less of 1.6. Is that something that you are looking forward to working on this week? Because obviously, if you do not concede, you stand a better chance of winning the game offensively. And knowing you as one of the best, defensive midfielders, is it also, a area of the pitch defensively where you would be specifically working with defenders and defensive midfielders before the final? And Coach, just your message to the supporters that might be going to the stadium. I understand possibly 2,000. Just your message of saying to the supporters, what can they expect from Cape Town City, and what does it mean for you guys to finally, after 18 long months, have supporters in the stadiums on Saturday? Thank you.
Obviously, at the beginning of the season, we spoke about the importance of keeping clean sheets, and we've already managed to keep 4 clean sheets this season. Recently, we've obviously allowed some of the goals to come in, and some of the goals are silly goals. So we work on it in training to try and ensure that we keep those clean sheets, that defensively we become a lot more solid. I thought, some of the goals we've conceded of late, you can't really fault anyone. I thought there was a bit of fortune to the goal that Sekukune scored, for example. There was a bit of fortune in terms of the third goal that we conceded now against Arrows. But obviously, we're always looking to improve in all areas of our game. And defensively, we have to be a lot better, especially against the quality that Sundowns is going to bring. But at the same time, we focus on where our strengths lie, and our strengths last season was the fact that we were the 2nd highest scoring team in the league after Sundowns. So we need to build on that, and I think that's what we've managed. I think beating Swallows 4, and then we scored another 4 against Arrows, shows that we are a good team going forward. And I think we want to entertain people. We want to be positive in attack. We want to create chances. We want to get the ball in the box through our creativity and our movement. And what I've seen is that we can hurt teams when we do that. And that's going to be our objective, is to look to try and be positive going forward and look to break Sundowns down. And then, as you mentioned before, it's fantastic if we do get fans into the stadium, because that's just going to be that extra motivation to the players, for the players. And for my message to the fans is obviously, we want to produce entertaining football. We don't want to produce boring football. We don't do boring. So hopefully that's going to be our objective and our target for come Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. Moving on to Nick.
Hi, Coach. Good afternoon. I know you've spoken about him a bit this season already, but I think it's fair to say that Fakhri Lakay's career was a bit of a slow burner, but it seems to be hotting up. Where do you think he is? What are some of the areas you'd still like to see him improve on?
I think, Fakhri, I had him at Supersport, and obviously this is the second time now that I get to coach Fakhri. What Fakhri has is speed, power, and he's got natural goal scorer instinct. Where he can improve is obviously his work rate and his ability to do repeat sprints, his recovery rates, and we've already seen that massive improvement from the previous time that I was coaching him to now. He's improved in that area. But I think, he has so much potential and ability to give Bafana what they need is an out-and-out quality striker, because he has that ability, he has the speed, he has the power, and he has the finesse to score goals. But yeah, I think ultimately his work rate, if he can increase his work rate throughout the match, I think, he'll be a top striker.
Okay, and then Matthew.
Hi, thanks, Fatu. Hi, Coach. I just want to ask, do you feel that your team panicked under the pressure from arrows, and are you concerned about that ahead of the Sundowns game? Obviously, Sundowns will put more pressure on you, on your defenders. How do you guys counteract that?
Yeah, I think, to be truthful, I think losing Tami Mkize when we lost him, that was a big loss, because Tami was performing extremely well. For me, he was probably my man of the match. The first goal we concede, Tami is actually injured. We're looking to replace him, and the first goal actually comes down his side because he was basically out of the game already. So we concede the goal there. And I think ultimately that was the problem that we had. Once we lost Tami, it became a little bit free-flowing for them down our right-hand side. Craig Martin was doing extremely well for us going forward, playing as a winger. But then, we had to push him into a right-back position. And I think that kind of allowed Arrows the opportunity to start coming at us a lot more. All three goals ultimately came down our right-hand side, so that's the way I analyze it. That's the way I look at it. Should we have controlled the match a lot better? Yes, I think we should have. The second goal, we had a free kick in their half of the field that we looked to take quickly when we could have taken our time. We could have rather looked to go play it in the corner and maintain possession further up the field. So small little errors like that is something that obviously the players need to learn from. Controlling the match becomes a very, very important factor, especially when you have the lead that you have, But, hindsight is always easy. It's always easy to say afterwards, oh, maybe I could have done this, maybe I could have done that, we were comfortably 4-0 up. The changes we made, I think I would have still made the exact same changes, to be honest. But I think, some credit needs to be given to them, because they're a team that never gives up. That's always been Arrow's way of playing. They play one way and they don't change it, and they kept coming at us, and they got rewarded for it. But hopefully we learn from those mistakes. And obviously, like you said, you're playing against a quality team such as Mamelodi Sundowns. But I think the mindset will be very, very different to that of what we had against Arrows.
Can I just follow up, please, on Tami's fitness? Will he be ready for Saturday's game?
We don't know as yet. Today was our first training session. He came, we done a recovery session with him. We will reassess him again tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach and Matthew. Let's move on to Rob Delport.
Thanks, Fatu. Actually, I was going to ask a similar question to you, Eric, just about the condition of the players at the moment leading up to this week. Are there any guys who you are worried about, or are there any players who are definitely going to miss out?
There's obviously, like we said, Tami, we worry about Tami. Douglas, we're trying to see if Douglas will be available. He's been out now for the last 3 weeks. He started a bit of running today and a bit of kicking, so we will see if he's available. Patrick Fisher also has been out with an injury, but he should be back. Terence Mashego, also we rested him because of the amount of games he's been playing, and he was carrying a bit of an injury, so we will again assess his availability tomorrow. Ndansani got a bit of a knock in the game as well. So we will also reassess him again. Tomorrow, Darren Keat is still long-term, unfortunately for him. So yeah, right now, only one who's not really training fully with the team is really Douglas and Darren Keat, you know, and all the others just carrying little niggles. We will assess and then make a final decision by Thursday about their availability or not.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go back to Karabo.
Thank you once more, Fatu. Coach, I think let's be quite honest. You've played in a couple of cup finals, both as a player and as a manager as well. And I think it's a bit of a foregone conclusion that it's not only about what happens on the pitch, but leading up to the game. Any superstitions that you personally go through? What the players also need for them to win the game? I think we speak about their psychological being. Any other thing that you do for them or they do themselves to really be ready for the match away from the pitch, obviously, Coach? Thank you.
No, I think the planning and the preparation is always the same. It doesn't change in terms of how I plan and prep everything during the week. Obviously, being a final, you know that there's going to be butterflies, and my job and the technical team job is to try and avoid that stress that people are obviously going to go through. We try and make the experience an enjoyable experience. So we try and make the training sessions enjoyable during the week. The planning, like I said before, we don't do too much video or more video than what we would normally do. So that remains the same. Obviously, there are other certain aspects that we include, maybe looking for motivational videos, that type of thing that we might show them leading up to the final. And obviously in the final itself, players worry about what we're wearing to the stadium, new tracksuit or a suit or whatever. You know, you want to get those issues obviously out of the way as soon as possible. Is my girlfriend allowed to travel? You know, all those questions are coming up. So we want to try and get all of those things ironed out by the beginning of the week, so that, you know, everybody can start focusing on the main business, which is to try and go win the trophy, because that's what it's all about. You know, winning the trophy, and obviously, you know, the prize money, because the players obviously get a massive portion of that they can then share amongst themselves, and hopefully have a good Christmas period.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Nick, once more.
Okay, Coach, this is a little off topic, if you'll just indulge me, but you know, we've seen two teams, South African teams, reach the group stages of the Champions League for the second year in a row. Gallants and Pirates also through to the playoff round of Confederation Cup. Is this a sign of the PSL kind of finally flexing its muscles a little bit on the continent, not just leaving it up to Sundowns to fly the flag every year? Do you think there is a general sense now that the PSL teams are adapting and are better at African competition?
I hope so. I think, you know, obviously it's important that people take Confederation Cup, the Champions League serious. You know, South African teams need to take those competitions more serious, because ultimately the league gains from it, I believe, because the quality of our players gets better. Our national team obviously benefits from it. So, you know, I've always been one that has always been in favor of playing, you know, in Africa. So, you know, I'm obviously very, very happy to see these teams going through and doing as well as they're doing, and congratulate all the coaches, you know, for what they've done so far at those clubs, progressing into the next round.
Thank you, Stevlin.
Adi, I'm not too sure if Julian can address this, just with regards to the ticket allocation. what is the current amount that has been allocated, and is there a split for Cape Town City and
Yeah,
Sundowns, or is it?
Stevlin, can
Okay.
I ask maybe that one you can take offline with Julian?
Okay.
Yeah, so let's just focus on the football. So I'm sure you've got Julian's number. You can just take it offline with him.
Cool, no problem.
Clarify. Do we have any other questions, colleagues, for the coach before we close the session?
Yes, if I may chip in quickly.
Yes, sure.
Coach, I'm one who doesn't always like to discuss tactical matters rather. But looking at the Sundowns defense and the pace that you guys have, I mean, in terms of on the third of the field, I mean, you might think you might say you're not going into this game as favorites, but in my world, I think you've got more power going forward. Looking at the pace that the likes of the Rook have, I mean, looking at your attacking arsenal of players. Is it something that you guys are already working on? Not giving anything away, of course, nothing much away.
Yeah, like I said before, we obviously look at our strengths. We know where our strengths lie, and we work on those strengths to try and improve those things. So, but again, you're playing against Mamelodi Sundowns. You gave an example of Rushan Dorek, who I coached, and I think Rushan Dorek is probably one of the best defenders in the country. That's how much I rate him. I think he's an exceptional defender. He's actually a lot quicker than what he looks because of his size. But, that's besides the point. Mamelodi Sundowns, the quality they have, the amount of players they have, the options that they have, they have people with a lot of speed. Maybe Brian, not so much. Maybe Musa Lebusa, not so much. But when I look at the defense, Deroik, Modao, Morena, Lakay, these guys they're not slow, they're quick. So they've got so many options and variations that they could use in terms of who they're going to utilize as their back four. Grant Kekana, another one who I coached at Supersport, he's there. He's another option that they have. So we know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and we must look to try and exploit it. And Lani's going to probably say the same thing. So, that's what we do as coaches. We study each other and we look for where we can look to break them down. And yes, I agree. One of our strengths is our speed. Bakri is really, really quick, and Craig Martin also, the pace that he brings. Can hurt a lot of teams, but you've got to be clever in terms of how you utilize it.
Okay, Matthew, you want to have another one?
Yes, please. Thanks, Fatu. Coach, just again on Sundowns, their defense, they haven't conceded all the season in the league, and that's probably down to their organization. But because they're so organized and because they're so disciplined, they're probably the most predictable team in the country in that sense. Do you think it's a bit easier to get at them in that fashion then?
Yeah, I think everybody looks at Mamelodi Sundowns offensively, but if you look at them and study them carefully, they're actually quite a reserved team that doesn't take a lot of risk. Normally they'll have, two center backs and then Andile Jale and Rivaldo Kutsia screening the two. They allow the fullbacks to get forward, but, they'll always have 4 or 5 players as a defensive block looking to try and prevent counterattacks and transitions. So they're not a team that looks to really commit a lot of bodies going forward. And to a degree, they're a team that plays pretty much direct football, with Shalulile looking to make runs in behind. And, but the qualities that Zwane brings, the quality that Kutumela brings, Andile Jali, Rivaldo Kutsia, the way they screen the defense and they become the first line of defense whenever Sundowns lose the ball, and their ability to press, that's what makes them a hard team to score against, because defensively they're extremely organized, and like I said, they defend in numbers. You know, they really do defend in numbers, and they're not like Arrows. Arrows send a lot of players forward and leave themselves slightly exposed at the back, and that's what opens the door, you know. So you've got to be a lot more intelligent in terms of how you play and how you want to find spaces that you can look to exploit against Mamelodi Sundowns. You know, and obviously that's credit to them. That's the work that they've done over the years, and the players now, the squad that they have a very good understanding of what their role and responsibility is, both offensively and defensively. And yeah, that's the main reason why they haven't conceded any goals in the league.
All right, thank you very much. I think we don't have any other questions, so we're gonna have to end it here. Coach, thank you very much, and all the best for Saturday. Thank you to all colleagues of the media for joining us, and yeah, have a good afternoon. Thank you.